I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this world as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this day as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is more than enough. Inside there is peace, inside there is joy, inside there is sacred love. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. I will leave this life as it is, go inside to find my God. Go inside to find my God. Go inside to find my God.
Hello, I am Pat Byrne, a prayer practitioner at the Center. Please join me in prayer. This word is being spoken for this service. Everyone who helped and everyone who is listening. There is only one. This one is all powerful. It is the source of infinite possibilities. It is everywhere present. It is always moving from good to greater good. It is all love, peace, harmony, beauty, wisdom, joy, despite appearances. And each person made in this image and likeness of God co-creates with the One. And because of this service, each person has a transformation. Each person knows at a deeper level than before that he or she can use this power for good, is open to tapping into this source of infinite possibilities. Each person sees more of God in his or her life, more joy, more peace, love, beauty, harmony, wisdom, more good. I am so grateful this is true. I release this word knowing that it is already done, and so it is. Here is today's affirmation from our Prayers of Wisdom and Vision book. Divine presence creates life through me. I am a channel for its wisdom and generosity. There is no limit to the beneficial impact I can have on life around me. And so it is.
Hello. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Santa Rosa's Sunday celebration service. I'm Tara Steele, the community minister here at the center, and I welcome all of you. First-time visitors, those who've come for a year or two, and those who have been coming for decades. You create that special experience called spiritual community. So thank you for your presence. If you are a newcomer or an old timer who'd like to know what's going on at the center, please visit our website, www.CSLSR.org. You'll find out about so many different programs and activities, classes, and ways to reach out for prayer if you are in need of it. I also want to appreciate the staff, the volunteers, and the generous supporters that continue to help our center thrive. They donate through the website, they donate on Facebook, they even use the good old-fashioned US mail. So thank you one and all for your generous continuing support, as well as the lovely notes that continue to accompany your support. Today we have a guest, though he's not really a guest. It's our own Dr. Kim Kaiser, who invites us to commit, don't just consider it, commit to transformation. I know in Dr. Kim's talk, in the music, in the times in between, each one of us finds exactly what we need for our spiritual journey. So again, welcome. I invite you to take a breath and settle in and know that this is your spiritual home.
When I was a boy, each week on Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest, and he would read the holy word and consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea in two, and Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad that miracles don't happen still, but now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Now wine from water is not so small, but an even better magic trick is that anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, barely wet my fingertips, but now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of it. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, and everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Now read a questioning child's face say it's not a testament. That'd be very hard to say. See another new morning come and say it's not a sacrament. I tell you it can't be done. This morning outside I stood and saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head, and I remember when church let out how things have changed since then, and everything is holy now. It used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. Everything is holy now.
Good morning. It's always a pleasure to speak after listening to the music that Chris and the musicians provide us with. It not only is bringing us important things to hear in terms of the lyrics, but it is also harmonizing us so that no matter where we are in time and space, we are together, put together. You could say we're synchronized together by that music. So I want to thank Chris, and I also want to look at the song that he chose for us to listen to. It's called Everything is Holy Now. And the important words for this talk right now are, it used to be a world half there, heaven's second-rate hand-me-down, but I walk it with a reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. That statement really fits in well with our topic for today, which is commitment to transformation. One of the things that we're looking at is, how is it that we exist in different ways in our awareness of the world, that sometimes we're aware of it very well, sometimes we're not aware at all. And so this is a topic for us to look at. How do we commit to transforming our experience of the world so that we experience all that is there? I'm Kim Kaiser, a minister here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Santa Rosa, and I'm happy to be able to talk about this topic. But let me begin with something that, well, I love to watch YouTube, and I watch Simpsons clips all the time. And recently there was in one of the clips, there was a sign outside the church, and it said, if you were God, you'd be home now. And I thought that was really a great way to describe not only experience our skepticism about, am I really God? But secondly, to begin to look at the ways in which we are so amazed that somebody could actually say that you or I possess the qualities of God. So, you are not God, I am not God, but as we say in this kind of teaching, God is all there is to anything, and God is all there is to you. Typically, when you refer to yourself, you're not referring to that you. You're referring to what I am going to call a you that is made up of your habits. So, the theme of this talk is, the more of the details of our daily life that we can hand over to the effortless custody of habit, the more our higher powers of mind will be set free. This is in 19th century language. I know, and therefore is a bit difficult to hear. But it's basically saying that your habits are what you are calling yourself, that you can change your habits. And one of your habits is calling yourself something that is not composed of God, that is not the same thing as what God is. So we're here to find out how to transform these habits of thought and mind so that they reveal to us the whole world and not a world half there. The idea that we can hand over our life to habits so that we can pay attention to the higher powers of our mind, this is something that actually we can see in Barack Obama. Barack used to have everything set out, his clothes immediately available, his meals, his exercise, etc. So he's had a life that was used habit to get a lot of stuff done in a way that he didn't have to think about it, so that he could leave his mind open for the continual and constant demand of making these large decisions. So the first and most important habit for us to pay attention to is what and where we put our attention on. And Michael Beckwith, a significant major teacher in this movement, has said, as he does in his way, he said, well, you don't have to have superpowers. Wait, you do have a superpower, he says. You have the power to direct your attention. You can direct it where you want to. So I want to talk about this idea of attention a little bit further by using a story from William James again. He was a professor at Harvard. And at Harvard, he was talking with a group of students one day. And the students, a professor came by and didn't even acknowledge them and seemed to be lost in thought. And the students laughed as he went by and said, oh, there's the absent-minded professor. And James said, no, you've got it all wrong. He said, he's not absent-minded. He's present-minded somewhere else. Indeed, in some real way, if you aren't present here, you're present somewhere else in your mind. And indeed, we want to bring ourselves to this place, to this time, to the place where, as we say, is the home of God, which is this moment, wherever you are, always. In Edward's talk last week, he talked about training his puppy. This new puppy gets distracted easily. It's a great experience, I'm sure, to see how easily he gets distracted and then begin to experience how quickly you're distracted by anything. The dog gets pulled away by other dogs or snacks or anything that happens. He needs to learn to focus. And we also need to be trained to focus on God, to keep our attention on God, to train ourselves to see what is here right now. I think this is what Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching, meant when he wrote, a trained mind is much more powerful than an untrained mind. I don't think he meant by that it was a trained mind and that it could do mathematical equations and so forth. I think he meant to have a trained mind was a mind that can sustain attention and focus, and doesn't really matter whether it understands completely or whether what's going on. It is completely present to it, with ready to see and know what is here. So you can train your mind. We can train our mind to sustain focus more and more. And in this way, you begin to experience more and more of the real world you live in, not your ideas about it or your ideas about yourself. Now, William James points to an interesting way in which we actually decide what to pay attention to. He says simply, my experience, that is my attention, is what I agree to attend to. If I keep my mind on something, good or bad, that will be my experience. Some idea or person or event that has been interesting enough to get your attention becomes your experience in this time of change and challenge. What are you focusing on? You and I are being flooded with ways in which things are not, well, to put it simply, quite as good as they should be or could be. Do you keep your attention on things that are not here or not quite complete or not beneficial? Or do you keep your idea on God? Do you keep your attention on God? Place your attention on who you really are. As one teacher said, you are not God, but God is all there is to you. And that God's omniscience, it's all-knowing, omnipresence, it's everywhere, always, and omnipotence, it's all-powerful, are yours. They exist in you right now. They're not to be gained, but to stop being fought against or denied. So, do you in fact do that? Do you keep your attention on God's presence and in your life? Or do you say, well, even if God's here, I'm not really interested because I'm interested in proving to myself and to God that I can do whatever I need to do on my own without any help from anyone, including God. That kind of habit is the kind of habit that causes you to see a world half there. Aristotle had many powerful opinions, but the one that I want to point to right now is what he says: we are what we repeatedly do. And excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. So whatever we repeatedly do, it becomes a habit, and it is the measure of our excellence. In what way do you habitually respond in a way that you like, in a way of that promotes openness and promotes direct contact with reality? William James emphasized the liberating power that changing habit can bring. The greatest thing, he said, in all education is to make our nervous system our ally instead of our enemy. In fact, that idea that the nervous system, which is what he's now calling the habitual unconscious activity of habit, can be made into an ally, just as Obama does by clearing away minor decisions. And indeed, if you begin to have habits which reveal the world to you, you can begin to, and also take care of freeing your attention so that you can pay attention to the rest of what's there beyond your habits. Then something that has been called and was called in James's time genius can come through. And that is actually the direct communication from source, from God, that constantly is available and can guide us. So, and in the terms of the idea of genius, it was described as what we would call now our inner voice or inner guidance or higher power. But it appears in bursts of consciousness, and it appears in ways that are not clouded over by habit. James defined a habit this way: any action which has been repeated frequently tends to perpetuate itself. And we find ourselves automatically thinking and feeling and doing whatever we have been accustomed to think, feel, or do in similar circumstances when we've used this habit. We don't have any purpose in using it. We don't have any conscious calling it into being. It just comes, and we are immediately experiencing that which we experienced before when we were using that habit. 99% of what we think we are, what we feel we are, is just unfolding habit, according to James. And as we look at current neurocognitive studies, we are seeing that a massive amount of what we call our own inner talk and dialogue is actually voices, beliefs, and opinions that are not our own, but are kind of automatically repeating themselves habitually. And James really knew that there will be immediate and powerful transformative change in your experience of life when you begin to modify and acquire new habits that reveal the whole world to you. So we don't want to get rid of habits. We want to start to use them. We want to start to use our nervous system, as William James would say. But how do we change our habits, and how do we make that shift in an effective way? James says first know that you are in constant energetic contact with your source, with something that is beyond habit, with the mind and the attention that is not confined by habit. You are in constant contact with the mind of God, which is your whole mind. So to change habits, this is what he recommended. Our attention, of course, helps us modify and identify habits when we recognize them. And in this time of COVID, etc., of shelter in place, we have a lot of time to notice and work with the habits that are hindering us. James offered 3 rules for the successful formation of new habits. One, he says, launch yourself with energy. If you're starting a new habit, set up things so that they support you. Put yourself in situations that encourage the new way. Make appointments and schedule activities that with the old, that work against the old habit or support it. Take a public pledge. Let people know you're doing a new habit. He said, use that word launch several times. Launch yourself with strong and decided initiative as possible. He also suggests accumulate, put in place, reinforce right motives for doing this. The second thing he says, never suffer an exception. That is, do your habit as often as it is needed. Do it often and regularly. He says, if you, for some reason, don't do your habit, whatever, this focus on God, don't beat yourself up. But just remember, I want to go back to that habit. I want to go back and do that. He says, if you don't catch that, every time you don't, when the opportunity arises, return your attention to spirit. He said, it's like rolling up a ball of yarn. if you're winding it up, a single slip of the winding will undo a great many turns. So every opportunity you have to practice this consistently, repetitively, never missing a beat. And in this case, the beat is, oh, I remember, I need to return my attention to God and focus. Then you basically undo energy that you've built up that allows you to automatically return. And finally, he says, seize the first opportunity, find opportunities to use this new habit. Look again and again and again. Take every activity, every moment to reinforce this activity. Or, as James put it a lot more succinctly, to change one's life. Start immediately, do it flamboyantly, and have no exceptions to the change. So I want to recommend some practices to us and that we might use to change habit. The first thing you might do, and I'm recommending things that I am doing, but you can find your own, of course. One is wake up with gratitude. Wake up with a sense of first contact with the world in which is appreciative and just mentions something that is something you're grateful for. I recently got a set of cards, sayings from the Buddha, and you pick one every day. And the first one really touched me, and it's very simple, but it did somehow. This card said, "Give thanks for what has been given to you, however little." And that however little made me realize there's so much that I actually do feel grateful for, but it's actually so small that I don't think it's really something that I would give attention to, that I have this wonderful pencil that I enjoy writing with, or that I have these books that have ideas and thoughts that really are working to change me, or that I have this community that gives me so much in terms of supporting my spiritual practice. Think about those things. First thing in the day, just some of them. Secondly, take moments and experience awe. The Kabbalah, which is a Jewish mystical teaching, and indeed is probably the most familiar and most readily accessible of all the mystical teachings that I've studied, says you might think that God is a man with a beard. Well, you'd be wrong. Or you might think that God is the power and spirit of love that is everywhere. And you'd say, well, you'd be wrong. But then the Kabbalah says, but if when you think about or behold or sense the presence of God, you are in awe, that's indeed the most complete description and experience of God that you can have. Take a moment to genuinely feel awe for this universe, for the vastness of it, of God, and you. This lines up with the third recommendation: change whatever you're thinking about yourself. You've been interpreting yourself in terms of these habits, and these habits have been clouding over any other information you might get from yourself. Remembering that you're not God, but God is all there is to you. Just begin to allow that there's much more to you than what this old habit idea has given you. And you can remember the teachings of beginner's mind from Zen Buddhism, which says that in an expert mind, there's only a few ways to do things. In a beginner's mind, there's infinite, many more ways and possible ways of being and doing and experiencing. And then remember, just as we said, we wanted to prove to God that we can do things without it. On the other hand, remember indeed what Jesus said, I of myself can do nothing. The Father within doeth the work. Remember that. In our last step of prayer, we release the prayer into that which does all activity. You can call it God, reality, the world itself, being itself, but that's what does the work. And you of yourself and I of myself can do nothing. And then finally, take moments of stillness throughout the day. These moments of stillness are very important. And they return you again and again to that state that is not determined by habit. They return you to a stillness. And I'd like to engage with you in a short meditation as our prayer for ending this talk. So please repeat after me. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I. Be still and know that. Be still and be still. Be. And so it is.
Hello, everyone. I'm Alan Yeager, your webmaster and communications officer. First off, I want you to know that a recording of last week's annual member meeting is now on our website. Many thanks to our talented Zoom team working behind the scenes to make that happen, especially practitioner Jeff Basham and practitioner Teresa Jansen. There were over 300 members in attendance. If you like delicious home-cooked food, the volunteers who regularly cook hot meals for the unsheltered in Santa Rosa are offering takeaway meals on Thursday, April 8th, in return for a donation that will be shared between the center and Sonoma Applied Village Services, one of the center's nonprofit partners. You can have beef stroganoff or polenta with mushroom marinara, along with the accompanying side dishes. There's a sliding scale of prices, and you can simply donate if you don't want to pick up any food. For details, go to our homepage and click on the picture with the giant mixing bowl. This Wednesday at 7 p.m. is our monthly World Peace Meditation. It's a gentle time to pray and meditate together. This beautiful practice is hosted by Jim and Vivian Strand. 1 week from Wednesday, on April 7th, our monthly Wednesday Night Live series welcomes Reverend Harriet Hawkins, speaking on the topic Full Contact Love. There will be a time for questions and answers after the talk. And registration opens next Sunday for our spring semester of classes. There are 5 spiritual enrichment courses and 4 certificated core classes. Clearly something for everyone in our community of lifelong learners. For details, go to our homepage and scroll down to the picture with the caption Online Classes. One last reminder, Prayer practitioners will be standing by after this service to give you a 5-minute one-on-one prayer. To get to the prayer room, log out of this broadcast and use the link on the homepage of our website. Just scroll down a bit and click on the yellow band called Sunday Links and choose After Service Prayer. Well, that's it for now. Here's wishing you a wonderful week ahead, and thank you so much for being part of our amazing spiritual community.
Hello, my name is Catherine Jurek. I'm a longtime volunteer and member of the Center for Spiritual Living. I want to tell you about a very special event that some friends and I are putting on. We've been cooking at the Grange for unsheltered people for over a year now. We're all members of the Center for Spiritual Living, and we're doing a fundraiser for the center and for one of our nonprofit partners, Saves. We're going to be cooking a meal for you, and you can purchase this meal online at Stepping Stones Bookstore on the CSL website. You can also just go there and make a donation. We're going to be using the money to continue our cooking efforts and also to support the center. I hope you'll join us on April 8th. It's a Thursday. We'll be making beef stroganoff and a vegan polenta, and you can pick it up in our drive-through arrangement right here in the CSL parking lot on Thursday, April 8th. Hope you'll buy a ticket and support our residents, all the residents.
Greetings, beloved community. This is Esther Nicholson, founder and author of Soul Recovery. Recovery is actually the rediscovery, reawakening, and realigning to your essential nature of confidence, empowerment, clarity, a sense of safety, freedom, and your overall well-beingness. So in this workshop, the Healing Code of Forgiveness, Freedom from Shame and Trauma, we're going to release that heavy energetic, that heavy weight of those experiences and those illusions that you've been carrying around, and we are going to get reacquainted with your true identity, who you really are. We are going to reconnect. You are going to reconnect to you, the real you. So join me in this workshop, The Healing Code of Forgiveness, Freedom from Shame and Trauma, Center for Spiritual Living, Santa Rosa, on April 18th. When you register for this workshop, you will be given the link to join us on that date and time, where we're going to go in and we're going to heal that inner child. We're going to set you free and reignite you, recover you, the real you. I am so looking forward to being with you, beloved. Peace and blessings.
La Luz Center starts with the work of Lydia Booker, who came to Sonoma Valley back in the late 70s. She found a need in the community for families to be able to access resources and also have bilingual services in Sonoma Valley. In 1995, Lydia, with a group of volunteers, incorporated into a nonprofit, and we've been in the Boys Hot Springs area since 1985.
Hi there, my name is Sandy Sanchez. I'm the Director of Programs for La Luz Center. La Luz Center has 3 main program areas: family services, economic advancement, and community engagement. You'll hear about family services from Patricia, but overall, family services is our direct services that we offer for the whole family. Whole family really means a traditional family, non-traditional family, and it could even be a single individual. When it comes to our economic advancement, that is our programming that is class-based and workshop-based. So we're talking ESL, which is English as a Second Language. We have adult computer literacy programs. We've done a workforce development program. And really, we have a lot of employment services, so anything from resume assistance to filling out an application online. And more recently, we are building up our digital library to ensure that our class participants can move into the virtual world with us. And then the last area is community engagement, and that really is our programming and events that allows our community and the wider community to celebrate culturally relevant events. So we'll do Dia de los Muertos, we've done Cinco de Mayo, and we do under community engagement as well, smaller events, and to make sure that we're able to honor really the community, bring it together community, and celebrate life. And that, in short, that is our programs.
Hello, I'm Patricia, and I'm Client Services Coordinator here at La Luz. Here at La Luz, we provide many different services, things like mental health referrals. We do Medi-Cal, CalFresh, Workers' Comp, and many other resources that we have and also that we work with co-located partners in the community.
When darkness closes in and you can't find your way, the doubts you drag around only seem to say, how can you make it on your own? Remember, you're never alone. Lean into me, I will raise you up. Gather your faith and we'll walk on water. Hold out your hand when you can't go on. Let go and lean into me. You're longing to be filled with peace that overflows, to hear my quiet voice. Just be still and know, in every sacred silence, I'm only a whisper away. So lean into me, I will raise you up. Gather your faith and we'll walk on water. Hold out your hand when you can't go on. Let go and lean into me. With every leap of faith comes the risk you might slip and falter. Leave what you've known behind, out on the edge you'll find I won't let you fall. Lean into me, I will raise you up. Gather your faith and we'll walk on water. Hold out your